I think you might want to be prepared for the idea that it's going to get anticlimactic now. Between that reading from the Upanishads and you guys singing Imagine, I don't know what I have to add to that. Wow. Great. Thank you so much. Can you put up the first one, Eric? We are looking at a Hubble Space Telescope picture. It's called a deep field picture, and they do it by kind of pointing the telescope at a blank space in the sky where there doesn't appear to be anything. And then they just leave it focused there for a long time, literally days. And this is what shows up. It's called galaxies galore. Most of the light that was received by the Hubble sensors left those bright objects billions of light years ago. It takes light 8.5 minutes to travel the 93 million miles from the sun to planet Earth. How far can light travel in billions of years? Wow. So we begin to get an idea of the enormity, just the incomprehensible vastness of creation. Remember this is just a tiny little infinitesimal speck that the camera's focused on. There's the whole rest of it out there. Sometimes when we look at the cosmos in its vastness, the idea of oneness seems to be too difficult to get our minds around. How can that all be one? If we look around the room here, I see Val and Lenny and Ross in the back and Sid and lots of other people I know, and there's me up here. We're looking at each other. If this is an illusion of separation, it's pretty darn effective. I don't think I'm... So we're going to explore how all of us are part of one greater whole. And in fact, all of that is too. So we're going to try and respect the vastness of creation. At the same time, we look at how oneness plays out in our individual lives. The title of the message, One Song, I owe to Sid Jones. We were having a conversation a few months ago, and she says, Foster, I think the universe is only singing one song. I really like that idea of one song. So do I, so it's our title. Thank you, Sid. Each of us has some understanding of what it is we mean when we say that word oneness. Or maybe oneness feels kind of nebulous and mushy and so difficult to grasp we just don't really think about it very much. The idea of oneness is not limited to centers for spiritual living or unity or other metaphysical pathways. For example, this gentleman is Suzuki Roshi. He founded the San Francisco Zen Center in, the first half, I think, of the last century. He was the first Zen teacher to come to the Americas, and he founded that first Zen center. Shortly after he arrived, some reporter from San Francisco walks up to him. Zen is unfamiliar to almost everyone, and he says to Suzuki Roshi, "What is Zen?" And Suzuki Roshi stops and smiles for a moment, thinking, I think. Holds up 2 fingers. Says, "Not 2." And he puts his hand. 1. That was all he said. He just smiled, bowed, and walked away. Well, Zen teachers are famous for leaving the student, the one who asks the question, or the one who is considering a question asked by the teacher. They're really well known for kind of letting that just sit there and percolate. Let the student peel back the layers until they get to the essential truth that is being revealed by the question. In fact, they often use koans, which is a riddle in Zen practice. So in harmony with the Zen approach, we might ask ourselves some questions. What did Jesus mean when he said, "I am that I am"? Or, "I and the Father are one"? His words suggest that oneness is not a very new idea. It's been around for a very long time. In fact, the Upanishads are quite a bit predating Jesus' lifetime, so it's a very old idea. Perhaps an even better question for us to consider today: what does oneness mean to each of you? Interesting question. I'm not sure until I prepared this message I had much of an answer for that myself. Well, moving along, if we continue this one song idea a bit further, I think it implies that because we are alive, we are part of the one song creation is singing. Because we exist, we are part of the one song. A key teaching from Science of Mind would be that it is we, each of us, who get to choose the part of the one song that we are singing. We get to choose whether we think life is limited, small, scary, or filled with love, joy, abundance. Our circumstances do not determine our life experience. Our response to circumstances shapes our life experience. Since we humans tend to be people-oriented in our thinking, it's really important to notice that the one song is not being sung only by us Homo sapiens. It's being sung by every fragment of creation. You and I, along with countless galaxies, stars, planets, beings beyond our knowing, raindrops, mammals, and even reptiles, along with blades of grass and grains of sand and everything else, we are all singing just one song. Not even a single fragment of creation, a subatomic particle, like a Higgs boson, is missing, is not part of the song. All of the physical creation is part of the song. To stretch our thinking about that a little further, the one song is more than the collective physical expressions of creation. It also includes all of the non-physical. Gary Zukav is known for, in one of his books maybe 30 years ago or 25, saying almost everything is non-physical. Today, quantum physicists confirm that. One physicist even has been quoted as saying that the visible universe is like the background noise of creation. It's like less than 10% of what's out there. The rest of it is undetectable by any instruments or any senses that we might have. So collectively, the one song is being sung by all creation, both physical and non-physical. Wow, it's a really big song. We can even mislead ourselves by thinking that we are singing the one song. As humans, almost every song we've ever sung or heard was written by somebody. Let's say John Denver, because he's an old favorite of mine. Maybe it's sung by somebody else, like Cowboy Brad up in Estes Park. And Marilyn and I saw Brad a while ago, and we sang along with him some. But it's the idea that the song is somehow separate from us. It was created by John Denver, sung by Cowboy Brad, and we're singing along with Brad. It seems like the song is something that's not part of us. We're just singing with it. It's not like that with the one song. We are the song. Our very life is the song. Wow. So whether you're singing happy notes or sad notes, it's still part of the song. No matter what we call this song, spirit, life, love, creation, pick your own name, these statements I'm going to say are still true for each of us. I am the song. Just as Jesus said, I am that I am. And here's my favorite. I called it a beautiful truth. I and the Father are one. Each of us can say that. I and the Father are one. Sid and the goddess are one. It's true for each of us. Wow. I suppose about now you might be saying, okay, Foster, we got what you said, but just don't leave us lost out here in the middle of the cosmos telling us we're like Jesus. Bring this discussion down to earth where we live. How does oneness show up, anchor into our 21st century experience of life? So let's try to go there. How can we tell when we're in the flow of oneness? What does it feel like? Richard Rohr has said that the core belief of all the world's religions is that the underlying reality of everything is love. The underlying reality of everything is love. He also quotes Pierre Teilhard de Chardin, a Frenchman obviously, who said, love is the very physical structure of the universe. All those galaxies we just saw a picture of, our own Milky Way galaxy, this planet, the sun, the moon, all of it, the trees, the grass, everything. The very structure of it all is love, is love. I think that means that oneness and love and creation are three words that carry a very, very similar meaning. So oneness isn't just a nebulous concept, it's equivalent to love, and we all have felt that. Father Rohr goes on to say, in fact, everything desires union with everything else in one sense or another. That almost sounds like the law of attraction to me, another way of saying it. Could it be that the law of attraction is simply an expression of oneness? In the physical realm, we might call this attraction, gravity. Nobody doubts gravity. It's holding me right here, and it's holding you in your chairs. We all experience it all the time. It's omnipresent. We just know it's there. It doesn't even occur to us to think about it. In the non-physical realm, we might call this same attractive energy love. And I think maybe when we combine the physical and the non-physical, gravity and love, maybe that's oneness. So that attraction that's just a natural part of everything is oneness. It's also love. It's also gravity. So nothing physical is exempt from gravity. We experience it all the time. In the same way, love is everywhere, all the time. Love is omnipresent. The difference in our experience of gravity and love is that we harbor the illusion that we get to choose who, when, why, what to love. So I can say, I just love Traveling Lights music, And I sort of left out all the rest of you by my choice. The truth is, we have an illusion that we can limit love, when in truth it's only our self-imposed lack of awareness of love's presence that limits our experience of it. The same is true of oneness. Father Richard, he's one of my favorites, you can probably tell, also says, I actually believe that what it means to know and trust God is to trust that love is the source, heart, engine, and goal of life. What a powerful statement. The very nature of creation is oneness, one creative energy field that is everything. Love is omnipresent and has no boundaries at all. If you feel love for a departed loved one, they know it. It has no boundaries. That veil that seems to separate the living from the no longer living is completely not even there for love. Let's see if we can personalize these kind of big, grandiose ideas. Have you ever felt such a deep love for another person that that wall, that illusion of separation just sort of dissolved? I remember holding Rita, my firstborn daughter, a long time ago now. I was 21. She's just a few hours old, and she's right here. I'm looking in her eyes. She's looking back. My heart just started to sing. I realized that this precious thing I'm holding is part of me. At a point in time, at her very beginning, a sperm cell from Wa and an egg in Mama's womb, two cells became one. From that one came this miracle I'm holding mackerel. My heart still sings every time I think of her all these years later. I didn't know it then, and I didn't know what to call it, but it was oneness. In a similar way, Marilyn and I created a blended family when we got married 30 plus years ago. Between us, we had 6 teenage daughters. Well, nobody knew quite what to do with the other half of their new parentage or these other things that were supposed to be new sisters or whatever. So it was a little like oil and water for quite a while. But over time, somehow things shifted. We are one. Hers and mine became ours in all 8 of our hearts, the 6 girls and the 2 of us. And that one family has even grown to include 8 unbelievably precious grandchildren. I could go on for another 5-6 hours about my grandkids. I won't. Suzuki Roshi was right. The many have become one family, not 2, 1. And it's kept growing. Our capacity for love keeps expanding. It includes all of you and almost everything else. More and more often, I feel love. I mean, I just wake up in the morning and look out the window and say, oh, I feel love for the whole world. Even the bugs and the reptiles. I'm even learning to love my mistakes because I've learned to see them as opportunities, as a catalyst to bring me spiritual growth. I think what oneness implies, it all boils down to this. Because Creator and created are one, not separate at all. Each of us is by our very nature as unbounded and infinite as all creation. Each of us is unbounded and infinite. Wow. So how's that translating into your life experience? Spiritual masters from Buddha to Jesus to Wayne Dyer have taught that our thoughts control our life experience. The Buddha said, with our thoughts we make our world. Jesus said, it is done unto you as you believe. Wayne Dyer has a book entitled, Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life. So the experts have said that our thoughts control our life experience. The key science of mind point, once again, we choose our thoughts. Because we choose our thoughts, it means that our experience of love, power, joy, peace, and wisdom is limited only by the limits we place on ourselves by our own thinking. The pathway to the life of our dreams sounds straightforward. Expand our thinking and stop limiting ourselves. So why does our experience of life so often fall short of that ideal, that life of our dreams? Perhaps Zen style, the answer can be found in wrestling with some key questions. Am I fully open to allowing love and life itself to express divine goodness through me? Powerful question. Here's one, the next one is kind of an index that tells you where you are in terms of your thoughts and your openness to receive. How worthy do I feel inside? How worthy do I feel? Feelings are the language of the soul. It's the feelings you send out into the universe that it brings back to you. If your words have got more hope than conviction, more hope than belief, then your position in trying to move into the life of your dreams is weak. Your feelings are a much better indicator of your belief than your words. And remember, it is done unto you as you believe. Am I deeply committed to controlling my thoughts? I can tell you how this works out for me. I can go into meditation and just receive the most glorious visions and mental pictures of the life of my dreams. The possibilities are just scintillating. They're so beautiful. And then I go down for lunch and spill some on my shirt and rant all over myself. You dumb bleep, what the F are you doing? You're so clumsy. So you see, I'm sending the universe mixed signals. And what I end up with is something that's not heaven on earth, but it's not hell on earth. It's sort of pretty good. But it's not anything close to the potential. So controlling my thoughts is often challenging, consistently. Another question. Do I believe I must earn the right to receive my good? That's so ingrained in our Western culture. We've got to work hard and earn our way. That's how we are successful, blah, 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 and on and on. We don't even know how to have fun anymore half the time because we're so busy. We're striving to earn our good. The next one is a leftover from my own upbringing. Can I set aside the feeling that God has expectations that must be met before I deserve my good? I grew up thinking that God had expectations I had to meet that were pretty darn hard just to stay out of hell, let alone deserve my good. So it's been a long journey, to say the least. Based on my experience, yeah, we need to change our thinking if we want to expand our life experience. We need to expand our thinking in proportion. I'm learning that it's not very effective to try hard and then beat myself up when I fail. I'm really just now learning that it's far more effective to just relax into the love that is my very life. Self-forgiveness is an art I'm still working on. I suggest that you just trust your intuition to shift your thinking and gently correct yourself when you fall back into old thought patterns. Be persistent, but please be gentle with yourself. Once we do manage to expand our thinking, do we just sit and wait for our good, sort of like a zoo hippo waiting for dinner? I don't want to limit how divine love moves in the world, but most of the time, at least for me, acting like a zoo animal doesn't work. Because we are the song, we don't have to wait for someone out there somewhere to act on our behalf. Our good often arrives as an inspired idea, vision, or a dream. In fact, we often are the answer we've been waiting for. As Ernest Holmes taught us all, we are blessed with the opportunity to treat and move our feet. That is, pray and take action. To avoid acting like a zoo animal, I've learned not to directly ask the universe to send me anything. I almost always request divine inspiration and guidance to assist my efforts to manifest something in my life, whatever it is. When I ask for guidance and inspiration, I have always received it. I have not always followed up and with my actions appropriately, and I've not always had the courage to believe the beauty of the inspiration I've received. But I've never been let down by spirit. When I ask for inspiration and guidance, it's there. By your nature, you already have been given the gift of everything you need. Everything you need to create the life of your experience, the life that you came here to experience. But until you believe that, until you believe that you already have been given everything you need, you remain isolated from your good. It's waiting all around us. It's waiting all around you. It's waiting all around me. Patiently waiting for us to open the door to our own heart and let our good in. But only you, individually, can open that door. The only handle is on the inside. It is done unto you as you believe in your own heart. So let us fully embrace our good. It is within our potential to become the light of the world. Let's just do that. Our good is ever available. It's encoded in our nature. All we have to do is accept it. Let us pray.